Oh, this is good. Senator Hoodie's back at it again. And he is done with the Democrat Party. He's done with these women on the spew. Hell, I don't even know how this show is still on air. How is this show still on air? The hell with ABC, Disney, all of them. They ought to cancel this show. You know, I'm sick of this lady up here running her mouth. Sunny Hostin. I tell you, the Democrat Party is done. It's done for you Democrats. And now they invited him onto the show thinking it's going to go another way. No, hell no.
Newsom called it pathetic and a surrender. Poll after poll found more Americans on both sides of the aisle blaming Republicans. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene blamed the GOP. As you mentioned, Democrats had big wins last week, so you had momentum. Why give in now? Why bring a butter knife to a gunfight? Are you willing to gamble that the GOP will negotiate on health care in good faith once the government reopens? Because if that gamble is wrong, 500,000 Pennsylvanians that you represent, their health care costs will skyrocket if you are wrong. And I believe you are wrong.
Well, first of all, MTG is quite literally the last person in America that I'm going to take advice or to get their kinds of my leadership and values from. And now if Democrats are celebrating crazy pants like that, then that's on them. And now I don't need a lecture. I don't need a lecture from whether it's Bernie or the governor in California, because they are representing very deep blue kinds of populations. And a lot of those things were part of the extreme. And now remember, what really needs to win, the big win, is involving my state and other states and those things. And why have we arrived here after the election a year ago? We got to forget some of the things that cost us that election. Or now, for me, it's like, that's why I'm trying to remind people that kinds of the extremism, we can't return to those kind of things and realize we need to find a way forward. And I would like to, rather than cite MTG, I'm going to cite one of the new governor-elects saying that my election is not a green light to continue the shutdown, because I promise you, this isn't a political game. It is viewed by many of us, but the reality is 42 million Americans now not sure where their next meal is going to come from, and because we vote like that, or people that haven't been paid for 5 weeks now, and that kinds of chaos. Those workers have to borrow more than $500 million, from their credit union just to pay their bills now. So for me, we're in the middle of this.
Senator, I gotta
want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, he been on a roll, ain't he? He not taking that hoodie off. He is not taking that hoodie off. That brother been on a roll now. There's the hell with his party.
I think my party crossed a line of now putting 42.
Bam, boom, blow it up. It's done. Let it crash and burn.
42 million Americans with their SNAP benefits, and making flying less safe and that kinds of chaos, and not paying our military. I mean, that was a red line for me that I can't cross as a Democrat.
John, let's be honest though. Your party been crossed the line. Yeah, they been crossed the line. Hell, we didn't know who was running the country the last 4 years. They been crossed the line, John. Let's be honest here, baby. Everybody knows. The Democrats been crossed the line. It's shot. Transmission, motor, shot. Everything shot.
And I think that's been described, country over the party. And now I think that's been the truth throughout it. And it's only wrong to shut our government down. And I'm relieved. But the people now that are going to get paid and fed, and millions of Americans, they're going to be flying now, that's going to be made more safe and restored.
Whoa! Senator Hoodie is on a roll. He just went on CNN an hour ago. As we're live streaming this, an hour ago. In his hoodie and all. He does not take the hoodie off. On CNN. I'm telling y'all, man. He is done with his party. He is done. The far left, I told you. It is shot. It's over.
Write about that in your book. You said, quote, I've drunk deeply of the venom of both the left and the right. As a connoisseur, I can confirm that the most poisonous, the bitterest, is from the far left. That is pretty remarkable to hear you say that as an elected Democrat. Why?
No. It's just been my personal experience on this thing. And when I asked my digital team, I said, we're on all the platforms. Really, what's kind of the harshest? What's kind of the most personal? And the answer was immediate. He said, "Oh, blue sky. It's blue sky." And the difference is, the right would say really rough things and names. Some names I won't repeat on TV, but the on the left, it was like they want me to die, or that we're cheering for your next stroke, or that's terrible that depression won. Why couldn't it depression won? And I hope your kid. And
he's not lying. If you go and I'll tell you guys, go look on X, and I've showed y'all. Go look what they're saying. People on the left are saying the most evilest things about John Fetterman. Again, when you start being, speaking just a little bit of common sense, free thinking, they hate it, man. They're talking about they want him to die, have another stroke. All kind of evil things, man. Some of the things I can't even repeat on camera. They'll take my video down. But it's just sick, man, from the left, and the violence and the political violence that they just, hunger for. It is honestly a disgrace, man. So he's not lying, That's why I told you it's a night and day difference, from the two. When you compare them side by side, it's just like a night and day difference, man. Like it's literally good versus evil.
Kids find you. They even have like the graphic, a GIF where they have like a stroke, in your head, cheering at that. Yeah, and they said that. I remember one. They claimed, "Oh, the doctor let us down, and why did they have to save his life?" Just really like I just can't imagine. People are wishing, I wish he dies, or I want him to die. Literally cheering for a stroke. And I don't know what the kind of a place where that comes from. That's much different than just calling me a name. That's really been consistent, in that community online.
And I'm really glad Featherman acknowledged this. And this means, I'm telling you, they see the tweets, man. Because the same tweets he's talking about and posts that these evil people are making, we see it as well. I'm so glad he acknowledged this live on television. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section, man. But let's get into this disgraceful clip on the spew. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Not the view, the spew.
Shut down from the outset, saying it never should have happened, never should have come to this, even at times criticizing your own party. So I want to ask you, why did you ultimately decide to support this agreement? And where do you stand on the growing number of Democrats who are calling for Leader Schumer to step down in light of the shutdown deal?
Resign right now, Chuck. Everybody want to walk you out. To me, it seems like everybody want to walk him out, family. And there should have been term limits. Long time ago. I don't know how we let them get this far. Term limits. I think it ought to be term limits down there in handcuffs. I think they ought to go down there and do a sweep. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but I think they ought to go down there and do a full-blown sweep and walk a lot of people out. Got doggone nursing home down there. People falling down. Don't know where the hell they at. It's a disgrace. Been in there too long. People down there is insider trading, all kind of corruption going on down there. It's a disgrace. But all of a sudden somebody is the big bad orange man and they want to be king, dictator. Our democracy's under attack. Unconstitutional, unpresidential. Oh, hell.
Oh, there's a lot there. Well, first of all, it's not like I agreed to that. I mean, I've been consistently. Now, remember, this all that went back to March. I effectively kind of led the charge now that it's wrong to shut our government down. And then enough of us realized that that's just too risky and that's too much chaotic. And then we kept it open, and I know there was a lot of backlash for that. And I declared back then, we'll be right back in the end of September, and I will be there too, because it's fundamentally the wrong thing. When you're confronting mass chaos, I don't think you should respond with more chaos or fight with more chaos. It's like, we need to be the party of order and logic, and now respond in a way. And now I refuse to weaponize the SNAP benefit for 42 million Americans, that rely on feeding themselves and their family, or making flying in America less safe. Or I refuse not to pay our military and all of the unions attached to all of this and people. So for me, it's like I don't agree with that tactic to respond to circumstances that we're confronting on this.
And can I just follow up? Is Leader Schumer, in your mind, the right leader for this moment for Democrats?
I'm saying that it's like that's not really my concern right now. It's not like a leadership situation. It is, we are living in the backlash of the election. It's been effectively a year now. America decided to put us in the minority. And now in terms of leadership right now, what defines leadership for me? I think that's order and logic. And now voters are going to respond to more order and the more kinds of not violating our core values to plunge our country into chaos for 42 million Americans. Food security, that's really parts of the essence of kind of people that I fight for. Now we have to be able to disagree on these things. And if you can't, and now as a committed Democrat that vote 90% of the Democratic line, that might be a bigger problem with our party in some way, that a committed Democrat from the most difficult and purple state in the country says, hey, I'm trying to call balls and strikes in the middle of this chaos.
Well, Senator Bernie Sanders said the vote was a horrific mistake. Governor Gavin Newsom called it pathetic and a surrender. Poll after poll found more Americans on both sides of the aisle blaming Republicans. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene blamed the GOP. As you mentioned, Democrats had big wins last week, so you had momentum. Why give in now? Why bring a butter knife to a gunfight? Are you willing to gamble that the GOP will negotiate on health care in good faith once the government reopens? Because if
look at Fetterman, he like, oh, why is this heifer trying to lecture me? Look at Fetterman. Look at his face, tells it all. Why is this heifer trying to lecture me? He probably regretting coming up on the show,
That gamble is wrong. 500,000 Pennsylvanians that you represent, their health care costs will skyrocket if you are wrong. And I believe you are wrong.
Well, first of all, and I don't need a lecture. I don't need a lecture.
Yeah, tell that heifer off. We don't need a lecture. You shut your. We don't need you to say nothing to us, ma'am. I'm a grown man. I know what's going on. The hell with the Democrat Party. Just like that, Fetterman. From whether it's Bernie or the governor in California, because they are representing very deep blue kinds of populations, and a lot of those things were part of the extreme. And now remember, what really needs to win, the big win, is involving my state and other states and those things. And why have we arrived here after the election a year ago? We got to forget some of the things that cost us that election. Or now, for me, it's like
That's why I'm trying to remind people that kinds of the extremism, we can't return to those kind of things and realize we need to find a way forward. And I would like to, rather than cite MTG, I'm going to cite one of the new governor-elects saying that my election is not a green light to continue the shutdown, because I promise you, this isn't a political game. It is viewed by that by many of us, but the reality is 42 million Americans now not sure where their next meal is going to come from, and because we vote like that.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You just can't make this up. Senator Hoodie does it again. Weigh in with your thoughts, family. I love y'all. God bless y'all and your family. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, you guys. Oh boy.